What?
Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Today is another episode of Anything But Average, Achieving Success in Life. I got my good friend Nick Krem with me today. And it's super funny, y'all. Like, I'm the most technologically challenged person I know, and he is not. Nick is like advanced. But sure enough, we had some difficulties today. I swear it's me jinxing it.
Right. I know. I'm sitting over here. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? But we got it going. We got a new setup. And usually when you have your new setup, there's a little difficulties, but we're all good now. We're ready to rock and roll.
We are. First off, I want everybody to know, like, that super cool intro that y'all all see that everybody comments on and loves, and the overlay and everything to do here, and the introduction to StreamYard is all compliments of Nick. And so I wouldn't know about these things. So y'all make sure and reach out to him if you want some cool graphics done and some cool content created for you.
Yeah, no, we love doing that. One of our missions is just bringing people's messages to the world, right? I think a lot of agents, a lot of people out there in many businesses, they have a great message. And what we want to do is make sure we bring that message to the world. So
I love it.
Yeah.
So Nick and I go back years. He is, like we were talking about before we got on this live, he's on this catapulted success story, and it's like awesome. When I met Nick, it was years ago, and he was running a call center, and he started in inside sales, and now he's in this content creation. So Nick, kind of just to give a little backstory, tell everybody like how you got into the ISA business, kind of what led you out of that into where you are now, and then what part of the world you're in, please.
Yeah. Wow. So how I got started in inside sales, that was like kind of like an interesting story. And I'll even give a little more detail than I usually do just to give some insight. So I was actually looking for my first sales job. Never thought I was going to get into sales. And actually, you might kill me for sharing this story. So Matt, Matt Milia, right?
Yes.
He actually wanted to reach out to my brother first because my brother is in sales all the time. I was the second option. And he wasn't even thinking of me. And then my brother's like, you know what? My brother, Nick, he's looking for a sales job. So like, all right, I'll try giving him a call. And then he called me next. And then the rest was kind of history from there, right? Like I got in there. I loved it. I loved getting on the phone, not at first, but through their great training and different obstacles, I was able to hop on the phone and do everything else there. But it was a natural fit for me. Like looking back, and I have no idea why I wanted to get into sales. But yeah.
Now, prior to that, were you in real estate whatsoever?
Nope. I had no idea what real estate was, but I just hopped in. He's like, you know what? I think you'd be a great fit for this, right? Because I like talking. I like getting in front of people, right? So like those are great things. But as far as like the work ethic, making sure I was getting in there, working 15-hour days sometime, waking up, calling on the East Coast at 8 a.m. and then calling to the West Coast at 8 p.m., right? So those are 15-hour days and just making calls all throughout the day. So when you make 15-hour days and you're making real estate calls all day, you're working with top agents across the country like yourself, you tend to pick up real estate fairly quickly, right? And that's why I always say sometimes it's not like they say it takes 5 years to become an expert, but how many hours are you working in those 5 years, right? I was able within a couple years to really pick things up quickly, not only making calls myself, but then starting managing the other people making calls, started managing the platforms, hopping into CRMs. I tell people I've worked in dang near every CRM you could think of within that amount of time because I was managing every single one of our clients, hopping into CRMs, going in the back end, seeing what marketing material was used, seeing what videos were people used, messing with scripting. So I was able within a short period of time really get a good helm on what it takes to acquire clients and really master the phones, get in front of people, and the marketing aspect, which was what really excited me, which is what we made the transition to after that.
So when you were doing inside sales for real estate, naturally, when people are using an inside sales agent, you watch their sales go crazy. But it's like you said, the hours are insane. So now transitioning, you guys, you and your brother have this content creation business. You are no longer in inside sales, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So explain to everybody what you guys do.
Yeah, so it's a little bit like you were saying too, right? Like as far as like the StreamYard process is what we helped you with, like the intro, the overlay you see here. And there's a lot on the back end that most people don't see too, right? Like we help people bring over their information from Facebook to Instagram, to Facebook to YouTube, and just create like your YouTube channel, Instagram. So essentially the whole branding aspect. The one thing that we do differently then most companies that you'll get out there is they'll do your whole platforms for you. But what will happen is it's kind of like a McMarketing campaign, meaning you're going to get the same post that somebody in Florida is going to get, and they're just going to put your name on it and put your logo on it. But to me, it's not special. It's not custom. And anytime I see something like that as a consumer, I'd be thinking, what are you trying to sell me? Right. Because when I see something that's generic and basic, I'm like, man, that can be something that's more so of an ad. But when it's your face on it, when it's your picture, when it's your video, that custom branding is what makes it feel unique. So that's what we really help people do is we take what you have and we customize it and custom tailor it to your content and to yourself.
You know, you and I your brother, y'all work side by side. And by the way, have you read the book Rocket Fuel?
So I actually have that on our, I have it now because of the live that we did together before. So
read it.
Yeah.
It's you and your brother.
Yeah.
And so, you know, having a partner like that where you have somebody that you can bounce ideas off of and they're kind of weak where you're strong and vice versa, you can grow so much faster. You guys are young and, you know, like my son is 22 and I'm helping him grow his business. And it's like, I can help you get there so much faster than I did because I didn't have anybody. So for you, did you have any idea that what you guys would end up doing as a business, like say 5 years ago?
5 years ago, I was just making calls. So like 5 years ago, no, I had absolutely zero idea of what I'd be doing.
Isn't that crazy?
It really is. But I'll tell you what, the reason why we were able to make this decision and when we finally made the decision to do this, it was an easy one, was our mentors and was going to these masterminds and was looking at what people were doing. And it's like, man, if they're doing it, why the hell can't we do it? Right? Why can't we do it? And to me, it came down to I've tried recreating the wheel so many times, and that's not the way to do it, right? I've been at the point where like you're almost too prideful, and it's your ego getting in the way to ask for help or to ask for assistance or to see what somebody would do. But in reality, if you're growing with people, they want to see you grow because it helps them grow as well. So if anything, it was selfish not to ask for help. It was selfish not to get help. It was selfish of me not to be able to put myself on the next step so everybody continues to grow.
Yep.
So the way that we catapulted it was just simple. We asked for help. We leveraged the people that were already here, that were already doing big things, and we helped them get to the next step as well.
So for you guys starting off, that was brand new business. What was some of your biggest challenges and how did you overcome them?
Biggest challenges was and we're still continuing to do this now, is figuring out what can we get off of our plate, replacing our time with money. Essentially, how can we pay somebody to do the jobs and continue to operate at the same level that our clients need, right? Because sometimes you get, especially when you start thinking the creative process, when you start getting on some of these lives and doing different things, it's like, nobody can replace me. Nobody can do what I can do. But in reality, there's probably someone out there that might be able to do this specific job better than I can do it.
Yeah.
Right? And it's okay to say that. There, of course, you have some things that we like to say. It's like, man, I do that better than anybody else. Cool, hold on to that box. But what about these other 20 boxes that you're holding on to, right? That your name's in. So it was systematizing our business enough where it can be turnkey, where it's like we have one person to accomplish this job. Great, learn that job for 20 different clients. All right, then we have another person for the next step of the process. So for us, it was getting our names out of a box, giving it to somebody else and having it systematized enough where you could just let go of the vine and let them do it and do the checkups.
So with you and your brother as partners, was it hard to define like whose roles or who's going to do this with who?
At first, I think it was, but then when the question we had to ask ourselves, it was, of course, when you're starting off a business, you're not going to do everything that you love to do. You're going to do things that you just have to do, right? And it just needs to be done. But when it started coming down to it, it was like, okay, what do you like doing? What do I like doing? How can we make sure we do more of that? And we give the work that we don't like to do to other people, right?
Yeah.
Like at the beginning, it was just more so of like, no matter what, we're going to get things done. I don't care who has to do it. We're going to make sure we get things done. Right.
You know, I've found just from growing my business, it's like you start out on a certain path, and then things morph and they change and they get better. And again, like the people that you get involved with, the people you align yourself with, then doors start opening that didn't open before, and then your goals change and your vision changes.
Oh,
For you guys, how has that changed just in the last year? Because
that is a fantastic question, Tricia, because that's true. And that's something that I remember distinctly talking to Michael about this one of the times. And it was making sure that we're both flexible with how it gets done. The ultimate goal of like where we want to be, how much money we want to make, that like, I don't want to change that, but being flexible to how we get there, being flexible to the actions that we can take to get there, and not just being so married to one mindset where an opportunity comes up and we turn it down because we're just not being open to seeing it. And that was something that we made sure we had the discussion about. And within the last year, let's take a look at COVID. Let's take a look at what happened during these times. And we made a huge transition with our business. It's starting to do these virtual events, which in turn, they're becoming these massive, massive value adds to our clients, to ourselves as well. Because we were planning a trip to Houston. I was going to be coming down to Houston. We were going to put it on an event. Overnight, our nationwide trip got canceled. But what we decided to do, that's when we made the pivot to Live with Leaders, right? That's when we made the pivot to Live with Leaders. I remember I texted you like the next day and you're like, I'm in, let's do it. So we put on that event. So we put on about 4 or 5 different virtual events, and we have some more in the pipeline right now that we're working on. So for us, that was a transition that has led to other opportunities as well. And because we were able to pivot quickly, do it right, we were able to get ahead of the curve on a lot of people. I know the Live with Leaders, it was a little bit ahead of its time, because now I'm seeing like we're doing a lot of different virtual events. I'm seeing a lot of people doing virtual events. Live with Leaders, we were pretty quick to that jump. Right? I know. Yeah.
So was that your first time ever doing a virtual event like that?
On that scale, yes. On that scale, definitely. But since
that was huge. I mean, you pulled in people from all around the United States, top producers, and we didn't have a lot of time to prepare for that.
No, we didn't, because you know what? We were just off to the races. And I think the cool part was, like everybody on that list, I had a prior relationship with. Right. But the cool part was I didn't realize that not every speaker had a great relationship. Not that they had a bad one, but just didn't know and could reach out to each speaker. So it's cool to see those relationships form between you guys, and working with the group that we have. To me, it's like I can fully confidently say every one of those speakers, yes, reach out to them. They're great people, and they're great people to know and be in business. So everybody intermingling and connecting, it just made sense to me, because I'm like, these are all great people. Everybody should know these people, not just because they're rock stars in the industry, but because they do the right things and they grow the right way together. So
it's so funny because it's like COVID has been a big pain in the ass for so many people, and for a lot of people, and people have lost their lives, and that all sucks. But when you look at so many different people's business models, like yours, like mine, like there's silver linings big time. Like what we're talking about right now, when I think about that event, not only was it helpful in my business, but I met Sekou. I didn't know Sekou, and Rebecca and Joshua. It's like I didn't know them, and I love them, and now we're dear friends, and because of you. Because of you and COVID, so it's like, had COVID not hit, and then it forced you guys to create this event, whereas you were going to actually come here and do one in Houston, just me and you, and then you were going to go there and do, it was all individual events. We would have never interacted, That's so crazy.
And that's where it comes down to, and this is just adversity in a whole, like there's always going to be things that you cannot foresee. No matter what project it is. That's why I always say roll out the project and stop worrying about all the things that might happen, because those things might happen, they might not. And then you're going to get hit with 10 things that will actually happen that you can't prepare for. So just roll it out and do it. But with that being said, I mean, when that adversity hit, I'm not going to lie, I pouted for about 20 minutes. I wasn't happy. I'm like, man, I had this plan in New York City. I had Houston. We were going Vegas, Florida, like all these places. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's do it virtual. And Michael's like, let's do it. I reached out to everybody, and the cool part was every single one of these leaders, which is why I'm confident calling it Live with Leaders with all these leaders, was like, yes, let's make the transition and let's lead the way. It wasn't a thought process like, I don't know. It was like, yes, let's make the transition. I'm good to go. I went 16 for 16, and that was a good feat for me.
That was freaking awesome. And it was such an incredible event. And so from that, so that was like your baby. I mean, not even a baby. that was like your firstborn.
Right,
So
right.
there, kind of, how have you made differences? What could you do differently? How has it improved? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What's your projections?
I mean, so what we've been able to do now is we've been able to systematize it a lot more. You know, the first time you're kind of flying by the seat of your pants, like, yeah, I think this will work. Maybe this will work. We've been able to systematize a lot more, make the marketing process a lot easier, making it easier for people to get invited, who to invite, when to invite, having an exact checklist of, okay, this is the day you send out this email. This is the day you send out this email. And so everything's more in a checklist now where you fill out these forms and we take care of the rest. So we make the process a lot easier and a lot easier of a lift on everybody's end.
So going forward in the future, now who knows when we get back to like traveling regularly and all that stuff, will you continue doing virtual events, or will you do a little bit of both, or go back to the ones in person? What's your thoughts?
I think it's going to be a little bit of both. I think the virtual events are amazing because you can invite people all over the country. And then the way that we've been able to do them, it's not, I feel like it's way more than a virtual event. It's a virtual experience, right? Where it's like, we don't, what we like, our whole motto is almost modeling like the 10X, where it's like, you go there and it's like, you have the lights, you have the music, you have all these things happening. It's not going to be just 8 hours or 5 hours of people just talking back and forth. You want to make an experience. You want to make it exciting for people. Yeah. So when people talk about it, it's like, man, did you see that event? Yeah, that was awesome. So yeah, I got some great information because, you know, everybody likes to be entertained. So what we like to do is, like, with our virtual experiences, we like to make it entertaining and a great place to learn. So I think it will definitely be a mix of both because I think both have their value in them.
You know, I think one of the advantages of the virtual one is because you got the replay. You know, when you do the live events, people attend them. They usually don't buy the replay. They don't ever look at it again. But if you're going to one of these events to learn, which you should be doing, then you want to study that stuff. Sometimes you'll have a favorite speaker and you might listen to that presentation 3, 4, 5 times. I go back and listen to ours over and over. You know, I love all the presentations, but some of them like were really things that I needed to hear again and again and again. And so when you have a virtual event like that, that's the beauty of it. We have the replay, you know, forever.
Yeah. And again, too, I mean, the replay is, there's so much value in that. There's so much more that you can do, like on your end too, is making sure that giving away the replay to more people as well. And also, it's just also the sponsorship opportunities. You want to talk about a sponsorship for life. You already have a lifetime sponsorship with these events.
And you guys work with the top producing people in real estate across the United States. Are you only doing real estate, or are you venturing out into other industries now?
Yeah, great question. I mean, with our other business ventures as well, and they are adventures, I guess, but business adventures. Yeah. But yes, we've been dabbling with other industries. We've been doing mortgage, title, and now we're starting to do some with the financial industry as well. So yes, they are, and then we're also talking with some lawyers. So it's very content, staying in front of your audience and building a brand. Those concepts can go into any industry that you need to build your business, right? And what we've mastered is, like I said from the beginning, we help bring in people's message to the public. We always tell people we'll help you with speed and precision. We'll help you do the right things faster in the right order. And that's what we want to do with people's content. You might sit there for 3 hours trying to figure out a subject. You give us one call and we'll figure it out in a couple minutes.
Right.
You know, and that's where making the process easier. I know so many people try to like come on here and do lives like this, right? But if you don't have the process, if you don't know how to make it look good, if you don't know what to do, then you're going to end up quitting because you're going to say it just doesn't work. But chances are you're not working the right way. So what we want to help people do is help people do it the right way with less energy and more results.
You know, growing up and I've been an entrepreneur forever. And so it's like, I've always heard that saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And you know, that thing rings so true. Even like we were just talking about with Live with Leaders. How much emphasis do you think that has on your business?
Man, so one of our coaches too was just going over this the other day. It's like when you run into a problem or an obstacle, so many people ask why this happened or what can I do to overcome it? And he's like, those are the wrong questions. It's who do I have to reach out to help me solve this? Who do I need to put in a box to help me solve this problem? So it is like what you know and who you know, but it's also when you actually have the business too, you run into a problem, who can I reach out to that's been in the same exact position before? And if you surround yourself with the right people, if you have the right mentors, that question is a no-brainer, right? So that who is huge and just getting started. But even when you get started, to get to that next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. So the who, you were asking how important that was, right? How important that's been for us. It's been everything. It's been absolutely everything. It's the reason I get started during this. It's the reason I was asking myself the hard questions, and I had the questions to ask somebody.
Yeah.
And we've been able to spread large because we've been working with top people like yourself. And then you guys also make us look good when you go live. You have these great shows and these great questions and other things going on. And also people ask you like, how the hell are you able to do this? Like, oh, I know a guy that helps me. Right. So
I know who, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the who. And it's a symbiotic relationship because we're helping you. And then somebody asks, and it's like, yes, these guys are great. So we always make sure that, when people come in, we have to take care of our people because they know they're the lifeline of our business as well. So,
time.
Yeah.
Even before EXP, and I met you before EXP. And so when I just had my independent brokerage, I thought everything was fine, life was great, life was comfortable. And I knew you, but I didn't know our whole group that we're all together. I didn't know any of them. Why would I? They weren't here locally in Houston. And so I met you. And then of course I went and saw Mike and Jay at an event, met them, and that opened up the doors to make me more open-minded. And then because of that, it's like we have the coolest group, I think, in the whole world. It's like when you're in high school and you want to be in the cool kids group. That's our group.
That's our group. Hey, man, I'll tell you what. I'll put this. Nobody has more fun than we do. And not just more fun, but we know the learning environment and everything that goes with it is huge. But the camaraderie and the relationships that we get out of it, I think that's what really takes the cake, because just the ability to, it's like, okay, yeah, having fun isn't everything, but it's a lot of things. Because here's what fun does. Here's what the relationships do. Here's what the magical moments build. Now I can reach out to Tricia and ask her questions even after the event, after all that happens. I can reach out to everybody that's there because I have that relationship because of what we do. So what that allows everybody to do is have these great relationships where you feel comfortable reaching out. Because if I just go to an event and I see the big guys at the top of the room and I don't really talk to them, or I don't have any type of relationship with them, I won't feel comfortable reaching out, and they probably won't even answer me if I reach out. But since we have the group that we do and the camaraderie and the ability to do that, I feel comfortable reaching out to a lot of top producers across the country.
And the coolest thing is, it's like we're all a lot of us are in different places in the United States, and we don't get together, but maybe 2, sometimes 3, 4 times a year, depending on the travel restrictions. But we pick up right where we left off, and I know I can text them at any time and be like, hey, I need help with this, or I can offer help, and they're there. And for me, that's I think the biggest thing to help grow a business and help you feel secure in your business and have a vision. Because here's the deal. It's like when you're a business owner, so many people lose sight of what you really should be doing, because this world is screwed up, man. It is so screwed up. And there's so many people that are just selfish. They're only interested in what's in it for them. And there's so many people out there that are struggling, and you're a giver. You and your brother are both givers, and the people in our group, it's all givers, people that are just drivers and givers. And I think when you get that many people together that are really trying to make a difference and be out there to help people, man, there's blessings that come from that all day long.
No, you're 100% right. And that's where having the right group and having the right mentors is so huge, where since we're in the right group, the wrong people see their way out. And there has been some people that haven't been a good fit. And they quickly, they stick out like a sore thumb. Right. Yes. And that sour apple, all of a sudden, everybody could get affected if that person doesn't leave the group, or if they're not forced to leave the group. Right. So when you get around the right people, you realize that I can feel comfortable going into any room or working with anybody because that person said they were good. Well, I know that person's great, so they must be great as well. Right. So that's where the group and the synchronicity, and just somebody actually just came up from Florida the other week. Never met them a day in my life, but they just reached out to me like, hey, I see you're in Cleveland and Veronica, let's go to lunch. I'm like, sure, let's do it. We met. Everything was great. It was Jason and his wife, Jen. They were amazing people. And I'll tell you what, it was like, they even said, I saw you were a honey badger, so we thought we just had to meet. I'm like, that's a great concept. Anywhere you go, you can meet a honey badger. You can meet somebody in the group. And,
cool?
And you just know that it's like, man, there's a 99% chance, 99.99 that I'm going to have a great time and they're going to be great.
Yeah.
You know,
and you can trust them. That's the biggest thing. It's
exactly.
like, when I was growing just the independent brokerage, there was shiny objects all over the place. Everybody's got the next best thing. And who do you trust? Who do you know what to believe? Right. You don't know. You just have to go on the basis of what they're telling you. But when you're in a group of people that work together, it's like, I know that Veronica's using you. So it's like, like I was talking to somebody yesterday and we were talking about a marketing platform. And I was like, well, Kyle Whistle started it, and then he told Veronica about it, and then Veronica told me about it. And, and that's how we do things. That's how you grow. That's how you make a difference. Right. And with you, the sky's the limit for what you guys are doing because you're in content creation, you're in digital stuff, you're in graphics, you're in design, and you're so young and creative. I can't even imagine where your goals and your visions are. So share a little bit of that, where you guys are headed, where you want to go next, like 1, 5, and 10, if you've thought of it yet.
Ooh, okay. Those are some questions that we've been discussing.
Yep.
So are you looking for more? So like, where do we see our business in that amount of time? Where do we see ourselves? Okay. Our business. Well, our next immediate goal is like through our Instagram, IGTV, podcast process is getting up to 200 clients on that one. We just started rolling that out. I think about 4 or 5 months ago, with some of these top people. Cause we usually have a couple of people like, hey, we got a new process. We're going to roll this out. They're like, yep, let's go. So we roll out with them. We've been getting some really cool results with that. So now we're starting to roll it out to everybody else. So our next goal is get out to 200 people. We want to hit that one by the end of the year. 5 years. So 5 years, it's more monetary goals, but I guess I could break it down to more so I'll be nationwide and just helping multiple different industries roll out their messages. Because like I said, our main goal is to get people's messages out to the public. Yeah. And on top of that too is we know we have a pretty powerful platform. So we want to get the right messages out to the public. And that's where doing a lot of our business through the people that we know really helps us know that, like, okay, they have a good message and we'll help them get that out.
One of the coolest things about your industry, and I have always thought when I was thinking about opening a business years ago, and I've told everybody, it's like, you never want to start a business that can be automated and you become obsolete. And, with real estate, that was always a thing that would never happen. Robots can't ever do our business, but unfortunately, AI is in the world now and bots have taken over a lot of real estate. And so as a business owner, if you're not always looking ahead and being innovative and being step ahead of what's happening right here, you're going to get shut down. So for you guys, I think one of your biggest things that's going with you and going for you is that you can work with anybody in the world. Virtual doesn't have to be right there in Cleveland. You probably work better with people like across the world. And we do. You guys have this content that you can create that you are always one step ahead. People are actually following y'all. You're not following them. That is so cool.
Yeah. So that's just something too. It's just being flexible with how everything happens and how everything works, right? Not being married to the way you do it just because that's the way it's done. It's okay. Yeah. What do you see next? What's the next thing that we should be on the lookout for? So, we always try and stay ahead. And I'll tell you what, watching what they do on TV and watching what they do in other places, watching what they do. A little secret is like watching what they do in like the music industry too. It's like the music industry is usually a couple steps ahead of a lot of different places, especially real estate. So just keeping an eye out for like what those different industries are doing and what can be applicable to what we're doing right now. So for
a real estate agent that's listening to this right now, what would be one tip that you could tell them they should be focusing on to grow their business?
One tip that they should be focused on to grow their business: start using their social media as a social CRM. Stop thinking about it as a place that wastes your time or a place you have to cut back. You don't have to cut back. You have to use it the right way. You can make phone calls through Facebook. You can make Facebook message. You can video message through Facebook. I can send you a video message through Facebook. I can text you through Facebook. I could comment on your videos. I can stay in front of my audience. I can go live like this. Stop thinking about Facebook and these platforms as a waste of time, or it's, how can I just create content there? It's start looking at it as a CRM, as places you can send out messages. You can make phone calls from. So that'd be the one tip I would give.
I love that. Yeah. What's your thoughts on Instagram and the future of Instagram?
Oh, Instagram's big and it's a huge part of business right now. A lot of it's more so the age difference, right? The age difference of users using Facebook compared to Instagram. So I think You want to get ahead of the game always. You want to get on Instagram. Then you want to start putting some things out there and start getting in front of and staying in front of your audience. Consistency is everything. If you don't consistently post, you'll never get that audience you want.
And then what's your thoughts about TikTok?
That's a great question. My personal thoughts is you can grow you can grow almost like a following, but I don't know how much it really relates to real estate. I've seen this kind of come and go, and I'm relating it to Vine almost. Do you remember Vine?
Yeah.
Remember when Vine was a big thing? The TikTok to me is almost like Vine 2.0. It's almost like the same thing. You create those mini clip videos. You have the music that goes with it. There's some fads and some trends. I'm not on TikTok. That's the way I look at it. I'm not on TikTok.
Agents use it, and I see their videos and I see the content. I think it's cute as can be, but again, I'm kind of like you. It's like I'm not sure that that's going to help you grow your business.
You grow a following, and you stay in front of people. But to me, it's when I'm looking at a house, when I'm looking at real estate, I'm looking at a house. I do want someone that I feel like I can trust them with the biggest asset of like my life, right? Yeah. And personally, if I see most of your content isn't that like, I'm not even saying business professional, because like we have fun too. We have bloopers. We have all these different things that are going on, but it's just more of a personal preference. If I see you dancing around and doing all these different things all the time, I might not be like, I like it, but I don't know if I could take you as serious enough to just go ahead and sell my house. That's my perspective. Not everybody thinks that way, but that's my view on TikTok. It's like, I think it's great. I think you can do some cool things with it. But when it comes down to getting more business and getting more things that way, I would choose a different venue.
If you were to share another secret, like what are you guys paying attention to now? Where do you see things headed digitally?
Where do we see things headed digitally? Well, I think virtual open houses and the way you do virtual open houses. We started doing this with actually Veronica. We had some success with it, not just shooting a video, but having a video, sharing your screen on StreamYard just like this, and then having your picture to the side like you can, and literally walking people through the house where you click play on the video, and as the agent, you talk about the house, talk about the different amenities, and you literally have a virtual showing essentially. Yeah. I think that's huge. You don't have to go to these different places. You don't have to go somewhere and have an agent sit there for the open house all the time. I get it's a great way to have business, but I mean, as leverage from time and people that you can reach out to you on Facebook, you can get just as much business, if not more, and reach a larger audience doing it that way. So I think it does a couple things. So the people in the market, you're going to show them, hey, this is the house. I'm going to walk you through and talk you through it. Maybe they couldn't make the open house, but they can watch your video 5 days later. And on top of that, too, it shows your other audience that you're active and you're constantly in front of people and that you're innovative as well.
With YouTube, so many people live on YouTube, learn from YouTube. What's your thoughts about YouTube and real estate? What should agents be doing with YouTube?
YouTube is big. I mean, there's a lot of people that search it. It's a very you get a lot of traffic through it. Just make sure, look up the hashtags, look up the different ways to do it, and make sure you're tagging your videos correctly. There's a lot of different sites, a lot of different places you can go to choose that. But build your YouTube audience. I mean, build your YouTube content more than anything. If you don't have content, you're never gonna have the audience. So you got to start somewhere and start getting that going.
Your industry, what you guys are doing, what's your favorite part of what you do in your job, in your role?
Favorite part of what I do? Yeah. I'll tell you what, the first time we create like somebody's whole brand, their intro video, like the first time we kind of put a brand together and bring it to life, that's my favorite. Cause like, whoa, that's cool. Like everyone's so excited to get going. Right. I think that's like absolutely. I love that, seeing people's faces light up when they're like, especially when somebody was working on a project for so long. And then in a week or two's time, we're able to knock that out and to get it going and just bring it to life. Because I think that's something that we struggle with too, is just making sure, just pulling the trigger and just getting things done.
Yes.
Yeah. And we also do have a question over here. I don't know if you saw that in the comments.
Yeah, tell me.
Curious how you're building your audience prior to virtual open house. So there's a couple of different ways. That's a great question. As far as like building your audience goes, so it comes down to, are you building on your personal page or your personal page or your business account? The business account, an easy way to do it is go in there. You can add all your friends, and there's actually a new feature when you build your new page. You're going to add all your friends automatically.
Really?
Yeah. Holly Kitchens. great person, was actually just showing us how to do that. Holly's awesome. Was just showing us how to do that. But building your audience, there's a couple different ways. Obviously, through ads, you can target specific groups and target specific people. On top of that too, so growing your actual audience and people who watch your videos. This was something I did at the very, very beginning. Is go to someone in the industry, go to somebody who has an audience that you want, see who likes and follows their videos, like and comments on their posts as well. It's actually pretty simple when you think about it. Facebook wants to show you posts of people you're interested in, and they're interested in you. So if you have specific people that you want to target, or like people in the industry, just make sure you like and comment their stuff. They'll like and comment your stuff back. These are all organic ways you can do it. Obviously, we can talk about ads, how to run ads and target different people. But if you want to do it organically, like people's stuff, comment on people's stuff, and try and do it to people who are interactive on Facebook.
How important do you think it is about sharing people's stuff on Facebook? Does it help at all?
I don't share the most. Because to me, sharing it takes away the authority of what I'm trying to portray. Like, so like when I say sharing, it's like sharing articles or sharing videos. I'd much rather write a post about the article and tell you my thoughts on it. I'd much rather create a video and tell you my thoughts on it. Because if I just share, like, I see, this is actually something I see all the time, especially with real estate agents. Well, probably because I follow a bunch of real estate agents. But, right, that makes sense. But with real estate agents, it's just sharing the article. But I'll tell you what, I click on the article, I read it, I'm like, number one, I don't like reading as much as I like watching the video. Right, I'll be honest. But on top of that too, I read the article. Guess who gets the credit? The person who wrote the article. And then I don't think about you as the expert. But if I write like a quick thing, like, here are my takeaways from this. Here's what you need to know. I like cliff notes. I like learning. And guess who's the expert now? Tricia, because she told me what the article means and what it means to me. Right? Like, here's a great article about what's happening in real estate. Here's what it means to you if you're buying or selling a home right now. Right? I'd much rather read your cliff notes a little bit than the entire article. And then you could give the article if people want it. Same thing with videos. Yeah. So like, you want to be the expert at all times. So I'm more of a, here's what I just read and here's what I can tell you about it. Then I could just share the article with you.
I love that. So for you guys in your business, tell everybody what it is that you guys do and how you can help people grow their business, whether it's real estate or whatever.
Yeah, easiest way, just go to nickkrem.com and schedule a call with me. And that's my name.com. But like we said, we help you bring your message to the public. We help you bring your message to life. We help you with speed and precision. We'll do the right things fast in the right order when it comes to your content creation, your branding, and how to get people to that next step, how to build your audience, how to grow your following.
And all of it on social media, right?
Yep. All of it's through social media, through email campaigns as well. So we work with everything social media and everything email.
And you have a digital business card too, don't you?
Yes, we do. So yeah, we have digital business cards. And essentially what we do is we put all your links, we put all your information in one centralized place, and we make it your name, right? So now everything you need to know about me is at nickkrem.com, and it'll be the same thing for you. It makes it easy for you. It makes it easy for your clients. So that one it's very simple to use, and that's what we go for. And everything that we do, we go for simplicity. We realize that everything nowadays, if it works, it has a great user experience, right? If it's simple to use, I'll use it. If it's not, I probably won't use it.
Yeah. And you guys are just growing. I'm super happy for you. I'm so glad that you're part of my life.
Yeah. No, we're happy to be a part of it too. I think you got to have a great message. You have a great show here. I always love tuning in, and I love being a part of it with you.
Yeah. Thanks for being with me today. You guys make sure and reach out to Nick if you want a cool intro like I have, or any of these cool graphics, or just get out there and reach out to him for social media help. Yeah. He is the master and the expert for sure.
Yep. Thank you for having me on, Tricia.
Yeah. Bye, y'all.